Every time something important was supposed to happen between Emily Carter and me, her precious junior Ryan Kim just happened to fall mysteriously ill. The first time was when she was supposed to meet my family. I suddenly had a stomach virus. Then, on the day we went to the county clerk's office to get our marriage certificate, he fainted right outside the campus library. And the night before our actual wedding? Classic Ryan move, full-blown anxiety attack. Emily didn't even hesitate. She straight up postponed the wedding, left me high and dry, and jetted off to Italy with him, to help him recover. 4 months later, I posted a message in our friends group chat, getting married next month. Everyone's welcome to come celebrate. That's it. That one message set off a storm. Emily called me right away. First time she'd contacted me since she ran off with Ryan. James Walker, she said, her voice already irritated. You know he's emotionally unstable. Why would you say something like that to provoke him? Like I owed either of them anything. Also, withdraw the message, she added coldly, like she was still my boss. We agreed we'd hold the wedding next spring. No. You decided that, Emily. In your world, maybe I was still waiting patiently like a loyal golden retriever, but in mine, the leash was already off. I told her, Emily, I'm getting married. But not to you. I swear I could hear her jaw clench through the phone. We broke up 4 months ago, I reminded her calmly. We only talk now because of work. Once I get my project bonus next week, I'm resigning. She didn't respond right away. Too busy whispering into Ryan's ear on the other line. You're awake. Did I wake you? Go put on socks, the floor is cold. Be good, she murmured to him like some Disney princess taking care of a sick puppy. I just stood there, listening to the surreal scene. Was this really the woman I was going to marry? 4 months ago, the day before our wedding, I had been trying on my tux, feeling excited. Emily barged in, jaw tight, brows pinched. Ryan's not doing well, she said like it was nothing. He had an anxiety attack. We need to cancel the wedding. Just like that. Cancelled. I didn't even get a vote. I'll take him abroad for a while, she added, lighting a cigarette like she was announcing a business trip. I asked her, God help me, I was still calm, do you really not see how he feels about you? She blew a smoke ring like a damn movie villain. He's just my junior. My godmother raised him when my mom was too busy, so I feel responsible. That was the moment. That's when something in me snapped. If you're gonna keep babying him even over our wedding, then let's just break up. She didn't even blink. Just said, James, we'll postpone the wedding. Like that would make everything better. I didn't say a word after that. Just took a utility knife and sliced through my tux right in front of her. She watched, cigarette dangling, hands in her pockets. I think you need to calm down. That was the last real personal interaction we had. After that, it was all cold emails and clipped meeting notes. She thought I was just pouting, that I'd come crawling back. She never took me seriously, not once. Until I posted that wedding message. And when I told her the bride wasn't her. That was the first time I heard fear in her voice. Still, she tried to act in control. Tried to guilt-trip me about Ryan like she hadn't already crossed every line. When I ignored her follow-up calls, she sent messages instead, trying to backtrack, say it was a joke. Say we're still getting married next spring. President Carter always did think her word was law. I replied simply, you forgot something. We broke up. No more explaining. No more justifying. She didn't even care about me anymore. Hell, she barely acknowledged my pain when she blew up our entire wedding. But now she wanted to act like she still had a say in my life. I thought we were done, that she'd finally get the message. But a couple hours later, I got messages from someone else, Olivia Lynn. Yeah, her. Babe, she wrote, let's go to France for our honeymoon, okay? Then followed it with a pouty, you still haven't replied, I'm mad. I'm not picking up your calls today. I stared at my phone, kind of stunned. Olivia Linkold, composed CEO Lynn sending me texts like a clingy teenager. A few minutes passed. Another message. Never mind, you're probably busy. I won't fight with you. Just reply with a period so I know you're alive, okay? I almost laughed. The same Olivia Lynn who shot down every intern's ideas in meetings now wanted me to text back a single dot just to calm her down. Of course, I did. And then I added, okay, I'll follow your lead. That woman had me wrapped around her finger and she knew it. That night, something clicked in my head. I'd left my passport at Emily's place when I moved out. I figured I'd swing by and pick it up after work. I expected the housekeeper to answer. Instead, Emily opened the door herself. She looked me up and down like I was a ghost she hadn't finished haunting. And right behind her came Ryan Kim, all fresh-faced and smug. I helped Emily choose your gifts, he chirped. She doesn't know what boys like, but I do. He handed me a limited edition watch and some platinum cufflinks like he was passing out Halloween candy. She gave me a basic one, he added with a pout, and gave you the fancy one. I guess that means she still likes you more. I almost threw up. I didn't want her gifts. I didn't want his smug little face anywhere near mine. If you like my old stuff so much, I said with a cold smile, go ahead and keep wearing my slippers too. Ryan's smile froze. Emily frowned at me. James, who are you mad at? Ryan tried to slink away, mumbling about staying at a hotel. Emily stopped him. You'll live here, she told him, not even glancing at me. James, do you have a problem with that? I stared at her. Why would I? It's not my home anymore. I went upstairs, grabbed my passport, and came back down. Ryan looked like he was ready to bolt if I so much as breathed wrong. Don't worry, I told him. No one's competing with you. Not even for people. I turned to Mr. Reed the housekeeper and said goodbye. Emily blinked. Where are you going? Home, I said simply. She scoffed. Are you running away again, James? I almost laughed. Miss Carter, Mr. Walker moved out 4 months ago, Mr. Reed said. Didn't you know? And that's the thing. She didn't. Because in Emily's world, I was never supposed to leave. Emily didn't say anything right away, but Ryan sure did, turning on Mr. Reed like a spoiled prince who just got denied dessert. You're just the housekeeper. What right do you have to speak like that? You're questioning the homeowner now. I rolled my eyes so hard I nearly saw my childhood trauma flash before me. This kid seriously needed a leash and a reality check. It's perfectly normal, he added dramatically, that Emily didn't know. She was in a car accident abroad just a few days after arriving, hospitalized for weeks. She couldn't have known James moved out. Then he turned to me, full of fake pity. And you ghosted your own fiancé and moved out like a child. That's so immature, James. So petty. I looked over at Emily then. There was a faint scar on her forehead, and she did look a little more worn out than usual. Maybe the car accident was real, but honestly, that didn't change anything. Did you know, I said calmly, that we broke up? The day she chose to abandon our wedding and chase after her little brother here. That's when we ended. Emily's eyes flickered. Ryan went quiet, unsure if I was bluffing. I didn't wait for either of them to respond. I turned and started walking out. Mr. Reed followed me to the door and asked softly, Sir, are you not coming back? Emily responded before I could. He'll be back in a few days, she said confidently, like she could will it into existence. And that's always been her way. She thought she had me locked down because we had history, because I'd loved her since we were kids. Everyone used to say James Walker would never leave Emily Carter. That I'd never find another girl like her. And honestly, for a long time, I believed it. But the truth is, the cracks started showing long ago. I remember the day we were supposed to talk marriage formality. Grandfather was so excited. Even though Emily said her mom couldn't make it because she was abroad, Grandpa insisted it was fine. As long as Emily's there, it counts, he said with a big grin. The old man cleaned the whole house, cooked enough food to feed an army, even gave the dog a bath like it was Chinese New Year. He didn't want the place to feel empty, so he invited neighbors over to make it lively. And then we waited. 11:30 a.m. turned into 3:30 p.m. The food got cold. The neighbors eventually left. And my grandpa? He sat down with a tired look in his eyes and asked gently, "Son, does she not want to marry you anymore?" Right then, Emily finally arrived, rushed, breathless, muttering some excuse about going to the hospital. I assumed it had something to do with her mom, didn't think much of it. Until the next morning, when I saw her Instagram story captioned, "The pain of gastroenteritis is real," showing her in a hospital room next to Ryan, who looked like he was having a damn spa day. I confronted her about it later. She was flipping through a magazine, completely unbothered. "Ryan's family is all abroad. If I don't take care of him, who will?" she said, as if that were a good enough reason to stand up my entire family. "He's only 22. Still a kid. You should understand. My grandpa waited hours for you," I told her. "He cooked for you. He was happy." She shrugged. "It's just a meal. You can eat any day. Don't be so sensitive. Just a meal." That was how she treated things that mattered to me. "Once my godmother comes back," she promised, "I'll stop caring for Ryan. 6 months at most." And I was naive enough to believe her. I kept telling myself she was just helping him out. She was always proper, reserved, never crossed the line with other men. Or so I thought until the day we walked into the county clerk's office to get our marriage license. Right as we stepped up to the desk, Emily grabbed my arm. "James, Ryan fainted. He's in the hospital." Of course he was. So we rushed over, and the doctor said it was nothing, just heatstroke. He could go home. But instead of sending him back to his place, Emily personally tucked him into bed in his apartment. I helped too, like a damn idiot, and while pulling up the comforter, I noticed a coat. A woman's coat. Familiar. Wrinkled. It looked like someone had been sleeping there for a while. It was Emily's. The one she said she lost months ago. I couldn't breathe. My fingers shook. My heart sank. I asked her later, tried to keep my voice even, but she barely reacted. It was probably dirty. I left a spare coat in the car and used it to cover him. Her tone. Ice cold. Unbothered. "James," she added with that same patronizing voice, "are you really losing sleep over a coat? Do you have anxiety too?" That was the night I realized, this wasn't about the coat. It was about us. Or the lack of us. A third person had infiltrated our relationship, and she didn't care. She dismissed it like it was nothing. "You can't be so possessive just because you grew up without love," she said, then rolled over and fell asleep while I stared at the ceiling, wondering what the hell I was doing. That was the first time I seriously considered ending it. But the next day, my neighbor called and said Grandpa was sick. Without hesitation, Emily dropped everything in an important meeting and came with me to Newport City. She held my hand, helped register him at the hospital, stayed with us all night. "Let's get married," she whispered to me. "We'll convince Grandpa to move in after." And I fell for it. Again. I said yes. Because that moment, the warmth in her eyes, the care she showed, made me believe she still loved me. Made me forget how many times she'd hurt me before. But men shouldn't be moved that easily. That's what I've learned. You can't base your entire future on a moment of temporary warmth. If it wasn't for Ryan fainting that day at the county clerk's office, I would have ended up married to the wrong person. I owe him that, I guess. One good thing he did unintentionally, saving me from a marriage built on lopsided affection and emotional negligence. Anyway, back to the present. The day after I got my passport, Olivia texted me again. Just landed. Kinda want to see you. What should I do? I texted back, I'm at work. Tonight, okay. She sent back a sulky meme, and I couldn't stop smiling at my phone like a fool. That's when Nathan, coworker, leaned over and whispered, "You're smiling like a man about to get fired." Huh. I looked up. President Carter just replaced you, he said. Your position's being taken by none other than her precious Ryan Kim. My heart should have dropped, but instead I just laughed. Great timing, I said. I'm resigning anyway. Nathan clapped me on the back. Still, sucks to be replaced by a toddler with a portfolio full of doodles. At least my doodles are on real pitch decks, I grinned. Then someone mentioned something interesting. The boss Olivia Lynn was planning a proposal ceremony. I blinked. She's getting married? Nathan nodded. Yeah, end of the month. She wants something grand. Apparently, the last proposal she got was super rushed. I tilted my head. Why are you all hyped about this? Dude, Nathan said, eyes sparkling. If we land the project, the bonus is insane. Like, mortgage erasing insane. And just like that, I was interested again. When we got to the pitch meeting for Olivia Lynn's proposal ceremony, the whole room buzzed like it was the Super Bowl halftime show. Everyone was fidgeting in their chairs, trying to look calm while secretly sweating bullets. Ryan Kim, of course, strolled in like he owned the place and ordered a round of Cokes for everyone. Boss Lynn looks young, he chirped, she probably likes youthful stuff, right? James said to serve her tea. What is he, 40? I almost choked on my own laughter. The guy thought he was funny, but all he did was embarrass himself. Olivia didn't even blink. She just leaned back in her chair, eyes sharp enough to slice through egos, and said coldly, "Pour tea." Thank you. The room went quiet. Ryan's face twitched like he just got slapped with a cold towel. He tried to recover by smiling at Emily, who true to form took the Coke and said, "I'll drink his then." No big deal. She still played peacemaker when it suited her. Ryan began presenting his proposal with exaggerated passion, waving his hands and making grand gestures like he was auditioning for a drama club. His concept wasn't terrible, but it was hollow, too idealistic, not grounded in reality. Olivia barely reacted. Too abstract, she said, flipping to the next slide like she was swiping away a bug. Any other ideas? My coworkers all turned to me. I stood up, took a deep breath, and walked through my concept, one that was meaningful, intimate, designed to reflect not just love but shared history. Olivia listened quietly, her expression unreadable, but in the end, she shut it down too. Too simple. Not appropriate. Ryan looked like he won the Super Bowl. You can't speak for your fiancé, he said, smug. He might love it. That's when Olivia's lips curved, not a smile, not exactly. Something colder. I'm the one proposing, not him, she said. He already knows everything. There's no surprise to give. The room went silent again. She tapped her fingers once against the table and turned to Emily. Can you do it yourself? Emily blinked. Me? Olivia nodded. I want you personally in charge of my proposal. Don't worry about budget. I almost laughed. So this wasn't just business, it was personal. She wanted Emily to watch from the front row while I got proposed to. Emily hesitated. Actually, she said, clearing her throat, my boyfriend and I are also planning a wedding soon, so, she glanced at me with that fake soft expression that used to work on me. I didn't react. Olivia raised her eyebrows, unimpressed. Oh. Congrats. But I'll still handle your proposal seriously, Emily added quickly. I can promote your love story while preparing my own. And your fiancé's name? Olivia asked casually, like she was filling out a form. Emily stiffened. He's private. Not convenient to share right now. All right, Olivia replied, clearly not buying it. She stood and walked out of the room, leaving us to coordinate with her assistant. A minute later, my phone buzzed. "Clingy girl, I'm in your company's hallway. Can't come in. Meeting still going on." I replied, "Give me 5. I'll come find you." I made an excuse, ducked out, and there she was, Olivia Lynn, standing at the end of the corridor, arms crossed, that signature smirk on her face. She walked toward me and threw her arms around my waist like we weren't in a professional building full of gossip-hungry coworkers. "You looked so annoyed in there," she whispered. "Is it because I rejected your plan?" I chuckled. "I wanted that bonus. I'm trying to retire early, woman." She leaned up and kissed my cheek. "Everything I have is yours. What do you need bonuses for?" "I still like earning my own money," I said with a grin. "Makes me feel alive." Then it hit me. "Wait, you asked Emily to plan your proposal on purpose, didn't you?" She nodded smugly. "Yup. You set her up." "Not really. She owes you a wedding, doesn't she? This is just collecting the interest." That's when I realized Olivia knew everything. For months ago, she'd been at that same hotel venue when Emily bailed on me. I thought she was just another guest there for a different event. But turns out, she saw me sitting there in a tux, holding a bouquet, crying my damn eyes out like a loser. She came over, calm and curious, and sat down next to me. I tried to wave her off, said I was fine. "No, you're not," she said. "You're mourning something." "Not the bride," I muttered. "Just the years I wasted." I don't know why, but I told her everything about Emily, about Ryan, about my grandpa preparing the house, about being abandoned for the millionth time. She didn't look bored. She didn't look annoyed. She just listened. And then she said, "Let's make a deal. I help you patch things up with your grandpa, and you help me deal with my grandmother." "How?" I asked. "She wants me married. You be my boyfriend for now." "Fake it." I thought she was joking. "You're Olivia Lynn," I said, still not believing it. "CEO of Lynn Tech. Why would you need a fake boyfriend?" "Because there's no real one," she said simply. "And I'm tired of disappointing my grandma." It sounded insane. But she was serious. And is still broken-hearted, numb, desperate to feel anything. Agreed. That was the start. The next thing I knew, I was bringing her home to meet Grandpa. Our place was still full of junk boxes of cardboard, bottles, old furniture. Grandpa had refused to move. He said my parents' spirits still lingered there, and someone needed to keep the house alive. He barely looked up when I walked in. But then Olivia stepped in, knelt down, and started bundling cardboard like it was second nature. She stomped it flat with designer shoes, tied it neatly with twine, sorted the cans by color. Grandpa stared at her like he'd seen an angel. "Who's this?" he asked. "My girlfriend," I said. Olivia stood up, wiped her hands, and smiled. "Hi Grandpa. I'm Olivia. I think I'm a better match for James than his ex." My heart did a full stop. "And Grandpa?" He lit up. Made her stay for dinner, told her embarrassing stories about me, even asked if we were planning kids. Olivia didn't flinch once. Afterward, I told her she was too good at pretending. "Who said I'm pretending?" she said, looking me dead in the eyes. And suddenly I wasn't so sure anymore. It started off as a weekend thing, fake boyfriend duty, just enough to keep Olivia's grandma happy, but things changed fast, too fast, like someone hit fast forward on my life. One week it was a staged dinner at her Riverside condo, the next it was picking her up from work, texting good morning, good night, grabbing brunch, helping her pick out a new watch, and suddenly I realized I was no longer acting. Olivia didn't just sneak into my schedule, she invaded my world. Every inch of it. I remember one night she came over in heels and a body-hugging silk dress, sat on my couch like she owned it, and said out of nowhere, "We're not actually dating, but if you were serious, I wouldn't say no." My heart stopped. "Olivia, we've only been seeing each other for, what? A month?" She looked me dead in the eyes. And in that month, did I make you happy? Yeah, but, so why not try? You can stop if you don't like it. She said it like she was offering a free trial, like dating her came with a cancel anytime button. But there was no escape clause, not really. She didn't just tempt me with expensive dinners and late-night confessions, she actually gave a damn about me. She remembered when I had headaches and massaged my temples. She brought me herbal tea without asking. She stood by me at every family dinner with Grandpa and asked about my work like it was the most exciting thing in the world. One morning, she wore my hoodie while brushing her teeth and I realized I didn't want her to leave. That's when she said it, standing in my tiny kitchen in socks. James Walker, I'm hot, I'm rich, I don't have weird junior schoolmates. Why are you still hesitating? I blinked. Because I just got out of something messy. Because I don't want to rush into another disaster. She took a step closer, lips brushing against my jawline. It's not a sin to heal quickly. That was all it took. I kissed her. We started dating for real, not for grandma, not for appearances, but because I was already head over heels into this chaos she called love. The funny thing is, she never demanded anything from me. But she gave everything. When she touched me, it wasn't just affection, it was fire and ice, sweet and sharp. She loved like she meant it, like I was worth the risk. One Sunday morning, I woke up to the smell of breakfast and Olivia pacing around in my shirt, frowning like she just caught me cheating in a dream. Wait a second, she said, arms crossed, you were never planning on marrying me? I sat up, groggy. What? She pointed a spatula at me. You've been sleeping with me for a month. Do you not feel responsible? I blinked. Olivia, it's been a month, exactly. A whole month and you're still not proposing? She pulled out a thick folder and slammed it on the table. Marry me. If you change your mind, fine, but sign this, everything I own becomes yours if we divorce. My jaw dropped. Zeros. So many zeros. Is this a prenup or a bribe? I asked, half laughing, half terrified. It's love insurance, she said coolly. Sign it, coward. I stared at her. You're not gonna harvest my organs, are you? Trick me into going to Southeast Asia and wake up missing a kidney? She paused, then burst out laughing, but before I could breathe easy, she kissed me. Hard. I don't want your kidneys, she whispered. I want your heart. And damn it, I gave it to her. That brings us back to now. Olivia had a plan. She wanted her proposal to be poetic justice, a live demonstration of what it looks like when a man is chosen, cherished, and honored. She owes you a wedding, she said, referring to Emily. So I'll propose right in front of her. I shook my head. You're being petty. You called me childish once. You don't get to complain now. She winked. I laughed. Fine, but no drama. Oh please, she whispered, we already have a marriage certificate. Let's give it some spice. I tried to resist, but I was just a man. And when a woman like Olivia wants spice, you give her the whole damn pepper aisle. But then it happened. The door to the corridor flew open during our not-so-innocent hallway whispering session, and boom, Ryan Kim stood there looking like he just walked in on his parents. Right behind him, Emily Carter, arms crossed, eyes unreadable. Olivia straightened her blouse with all the calm of a war general. Sorry, she said politely. I got lost. Boss-level lie. Delivered with zero shame. As she walked off, Ryan sneered. Told you it was fishy. Boda ran off right after you left. Brother, he added mockingly, isn't your behavior a little indecent? Before I could answer, my phone vibrated. Bonus, paid. Early. I laughed. Ryan flinched. You okay? He asked, voice shaking. You're not sick or something, right? No, Ryan, I said. I'm healthy. Can't relate. Emily turned to him. Ryan, go wait in the car. But, go. He left, sulking. Emily turned to me, grabbed my wrist. James, you're my boyfriend. How can you be this close to another woman? I yanked my hand away. Your boyfriend? Seriously? She frowned. It's different between me and Ryan. You and Olivia are what? I snapped. She's marrying next month, she said coldly. You really think she'll marry a guy like you? A guy raised on trash and scrap? That hit me harder than I expected. But I didn't flinch. I just stared at her, the pieces finally clicking into place. You know what, Emily? Thank you. Thank you for not marrying me. I turned away. She called out after me. James, let's do the wedding next month like we planned, okay? Don't be dramatic. You can even arrange the venue. I laughed out loud. She still thought I was doing this for her. That I'd come crawling back. That her decision still mattered. But she was about to see just how wrong she was. And she'd watch it unfold from the front row. The very next day, I went straight to HR, submitted my resignation, and walked out with my head held high, only to see Ryan Kim lounging on the office sofa with a fresh smoothie in hand and a new rash on his neck. Apparently, the kid scarfed down the fruit sandwich cake I bought for my farewell, and now he was red and blotchy like a strawberry-themed horror show. Nathan cornered me near the break room and whispered, "Dude, Ryan says you did it on purpose." I sighed. Of course he did. The cake had mango in it, though the hell was I supposed to remember his allergies? Did I send him a personal invitation? No. He saw free food and pounced. And now it was suddenly an assassination attempt. Emily summoned me with that frosty CEO tone she saved for serious matters. James, you've always been detail-oriented. How could you forget that Ryan's allergic? I didn't even flinch. I didn't forget. I didn't know. And he didn't ask. She crossed her arms. It was my decision to let him take over your position. If you're angry, be angry at me. Ryan sniffled dramatically while checking his reflection in a hand mirror. I have a reunion tonight, and now I can't even show my face. I rolled my eyes. Did I feed you? No. You grabbed the cake yourself, and now you're playing the victim. He pouted. You're just mad you got caught sneaking around with another woman. Emily's eyes darkened at that, like someone flipped a switch. James, I think your current state isn't suitable for work. You should take a break. I chuckled. You're right. I shouldn't come back tomorrow. Her queen mode flared up. If you don't want to come, then don't. Go to HR and finalize everything. Already did, I said, smiling. Her expression cracked for a second, just a tiny glitch, like her system couldn't compute me no longer giving a damn. She turned to the HR manager who had walked in awkwardly during our standoff. Is that true? Yes, MS. Carter, he replied. Mr. Walker submitted his resignation at noon. Why? She snapped. The manager, bless his heart, just blurted it out. He said he's getting married next month. Ryan nearly dropped his mirror. Emily blinked. Oh, it's for that. Then she tried to slide back into her usual controlling tone. Fine. Then move back in tonight. Let's go over the guest list together. Ryan will be staying in your old room. We'll put you in a different one. I almost choked. Wait, you think I'm marrying you? She looked confused, like the idea of me marrying anyone else simply didn't exist in her universe. I didn't say another word. Just turned and walked out. Later that night, I got a WeChat message from her, James, don't test my patience. If you want me to cancel the wedding again, I will. Even if you beg me, I won't marry you anymore. That was probably meant to hurt. To be some kind of final blow. But it felt like someone snapping a rubber band after it already broke. She didn't reach out again after that. And I didn't look back. Because now, I had someone who actually gave a damn. Olivia would rub medicated oil on my stomach when I had cramps. She'd whisper, "Let me take care of my husband," like it was the most natural thing in the world. She made me feel like someone worth protecting, worth fighting for. And the crazy part? I realized this wasn't the first time our paths had crossed. When we were kids, I'm helping Grandpa pick up bottles, her helping her grandma do the same. You had fought over recyclables on the same dirty streets. She once slipped and scraped her knee, and I let her take an empty water bottle I'd been eyeing. She remembered me. Not just remembered, she recognized me when she saw me again. "You had a red mole near your eye," she said one night while cuddling under the blanket. "You let me take the bottle even though you saw it first. That made you fall for me?" I asked. "No," she smirked. "But it made me remember you." She told me about how her grandmother got sick with cancer and how she nearly gave up. Walked along the river one night on New Year's Eve, thinking that if her grandma didn't survive, maybe she wouldn't either. That night, she ran into me. I had longer hair, darker skin, cheap clothes, but she remembered the way I pulled her away from the water, asked her to take photos for me, even treated her to a bowl of hot noodles. "Best noodles of my life," she whispered. "You told me everything feels better when you're full." Didn't think I was being profound, I joked. "You were," she said. And I fell a little in love that night. I stared at her. "Why didn't you say anything?" "Because when I came to visit your school a few months later, you were holding Emily's hand." I paused. "Wait, that was you? At the school donation event?" "Yep." "I watched from a distance," she admitted. Didn't want to interrupt. So every moment after the fake dating, the sudden appearance at the venue, even the so-called accidental proposal projected wasn't luck. It was her making a move. And it worked. Because now, I wasn't just some heartbroken groom. I was hers. On the day of the proposal ceremony, I was sitting in the groom's lounge, adjusting my tie and wondering if it was too late to bail when the door burst open. Emily stormed in like a hurricane with perfect eyeliner. "Olivia Lynn is going to propose to you." "Are you joking?" I didn't even blink. "This is the lounge for the future Mr. Lynn, isn't it?" Her face drained of color. "You've only known her a few months. I've been with you for years. This is just you being bitter." "No, Emily," I said, voice calm. "This is me being done." She grabbed my wrist, same old move. "You don't even love her. You're doing this to hurt me. You really think that highly of yourself?" I asked, pulling away. "Who gave you that kind of confidence?" Then Olivia appeared in the doorway, a vision in a tailored suit and stilettos. "Because you don't respect boundaries," she said coolly, "because you never appreciated him, and because I do." She walked over, took my hand like she'd done it 1,000 times, and smiled politely at Emily. "Thank you for walking away. I liked the opportunity you left behind." Emily stood frozen as we left. I didn't look back. The sea of flowers was waiting. Olivia knelt down with elegance, held up the ring, and whispered, "James Walker, will you marry me?" I leaned in close and whispered back, "Even if it was all a setup, I'm glad I walked into your trap." "Say it," she smiled. "Say the words." "I like you, Olivia Lynn." "Good," she grinned. "Now shut up and put the ring on me." After the proposal, everything blurred like the rush of a dream. I never dared to have flowers, flashes, applause, her hand in mine, her confident smile like it had always belonged beside me, and somewhere in the middle of it all, I realized I wasn't just the guy who got left behind anymore, I was the man who got chosen. But of course, life doesn't let you walk off the stage without one last interruption. Just as we were getting into the car, Emily came running across the pavement in heels too high and desperation too loud. "James, please give me another chance," she gasped, hair sticking to her face like her dignity had finally given up. I said nothing. Olivia held my hand tighter, and I didn't flinch. Emily kept going, "Ryan's leaving the country tomorrow. For good. I'm letting him go." My expression didn't change. "So now that your safety net is gone, I'm supposed to be plan B again. Her assistant, who was dragging Ryan away in tears, muttered something like, "You're not worthy of my mother," but neither of us cared. Emily ignored him completely and looked straight at me, eyes glossy. "James, come home." Olivia didn't even give her time to breathe. She calmly reached into her designer bag and pulled out a red booklet, our marriage certificate, and held it up like a mic drop. "Too late." "What were you doing when he needed you?" she asked with a smile that could cut steel. Emily's lips trembled. "James, we were supposed to get married first. We were at the county clerk's office. We had a date. You were wearing the suit. And then Ryan fainted," I cut in. "And you left me there like I didn't matter. You chose him. So now, I choose someone else." Her mouth opened, but no sound came out. Olivia leaned close to me and whispered, "If you don't walk away now, I will drag you out of this drama myself." I grinned. "Let's go home, Mrs. Lynn." We left her standing there, the crowd already dispersing, her face crumpling behind us like a paper doll in the rain. I didn't see her again for a while, not until Olivia and I came back from our honeymoon somewhere warm, somewhere quiet, somewhere so far from the person I used to be. I was just unpacking when I got a call. Emily's assistant. "Mr. Walker, President Carter's in the hospital. Gastric bleeding. From drinking too much. She keeps asking for the yam porridge you used to make." I sat down, didn't say anything. "I know this is awkward," the assistant continued, "but she won't eat. Could you visit her just once?" I exhaled slowly, looked at Olivia, who was lounging on the sofa in one of my t-shirts, painting her toenails like a goddess. "Sorry," I said into the phone. "I'm married. And I respect boundaries now." "Understood," the assistant replied. "But she's asking for you." "She can ask Uncle Reed to make the porridge," I said. "I'm sure he remembers the recipe." "Right," the assistant said, a little crushed, and hung up. I figured that was that, but Olivia had been listening the whole time. "Uncle Reed? Cooking porridge for your ex," she said in a sing-song voice, raising an eyebrow. "Jealous already?" I teased. "Maybe." She stood up and walked toward me. "Guess I'll have to punish you later." "I'm scared," I laughed, just as a voice shouted from the kitchen, "Dinner's ready." It was Uncle Reed. I blinked. "Wait, you hired him?" Olivia smirked. "I stole your old nanny. Offered him triple the salary." "You're ridiculous." "You love it." "I really do." I grabbed her by the waist and spun her in a full circle like we were in some dumb rom-com and landed back on the couch with her on top of me, both of us laughing like idiots. "Do you like your new home?" she asked softly, brushing my hair back. "I love it," I said, pulling her closer. "I love you." Her eyes sparkled like stars had decided to crash land in them. "Say it again." "I love you, Olivia Lynn. And I'll say it every day for the rest of my life." "Good," she smiled, "because I plan to annoy you until you're 90. I'll annoy you harder." "Impossible." "Challenge accepted." Somewhere in the background, I heard the sound of plates clinking and Uncle Reed humming an old tune. It smelled like yam porridge, but this time, it was for me. For us. I guess that's what happiness looks like, not some perfect, flawless love story, but one where someone stays, even when things get ugly. Someone who chooses you not because they have to, but because they can't imagine life without you. Later that night, while Olivia was passed out with her head on my chest and my arm going numb under her, I checked my phone one last time. A notification popped up. Ryan had posted on social media again. "Sometimes I'm clingy, but I never meant to hurt anyone." The post had a picture of the dismantled wedding structure Emily and I were supposed to stand under. Guess even he realized he was a walking plot device. I stared at the screen for a second, then turned it off. I wasn't mad anymore. I wasn't heartbroken or bitter or nostalgic. I was just full. Full in the way Olivia always said mattered most. "As long as you're full," she used to say, "you can survive anything." I looked at her sleeping face, soft and serene, and whispered one last thing, just for me. Thank you for picking me. Thank you for making me your person. And with that, I finally fell asleep. Not as the man who got left behind, but as the man who finally found home.